Welcome to Astro Cheaper Hindi channel.
where sometimes peace begins with two enemies standing at the altar. The war between Earth and the Valkyrie Dominion lasted 11 years. 11 years of burning colonies, destroyed fleets, mass graves drifting through space. By the end, nobody even remembered what started it. People only remembered the deaths. Every system across the frontier carried scars from the conflict. Human worlds hated the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie hated humans even more. And somewhere in the middle of all that hatred, the galaxy decided marriage might stop the war. That's how I met Commander Valeira. At our wedding. Romantic, right? I was Captain Adrian Vale of the 7th Human Fleet. Decorated officer. Battle survivor. Professional expert at not dying in impossible situations. Valeira was worse. Enemy war hero. Supreme battlefield commander of the Valkyrie assault divisions. The woman personally responsible for destroying 3 human fleets during the siege of Torven Reach. To humans, she was a monster. To the Valkyrie, she was practically royalty. And according to the peace treaty, we were getting married. Neither of us had a choice. The politicians called it symbolic unity. The military called it strategic stabilization. The public called it insanity. Personally, I agreed with the public. The ceremony happened aboard the neutral diplomatic station Irinder Prime. Security surrounded every corridor. Snipers covered every balcony. Half the galaxy watched through live transmissions hoping peace would finally hold. Meanwhile, I stood beside the altar wondering whether my future wife had ever personally ordered missiles fired at me. Probably. Then she entered the chamber. And suddenly the entire station became silent. Commander Valeira moved with the calm confidence of someone feared by entire armies. Silver-black ceremonial armor covered beneath royal fabrics. Cold golden eyes scanning the room carefully. Beautiful in the most dangerous way possible. When she stopped beside me, she didn't even look nervous. I leaned slightly closer. So, awkward first meeting? Without turning toward me, she answered calmly. I have attended executions with warmer atmospheres. That almost made me laugh during my own political marriage. Not a great start. The ceremony itself felt less like romance and more like a military surrender agreement. Diplomats smiled too much. Fleet admirals watched each other suspiciously. Politicians celebrated while soldiers from both sides stared like they expected gunfire at any second. Maybe they were right. Because 3 hours after the wedding, someone tried to assassinate us. The attack hit during the diplomatic procession leaving the station. Explosions ripped through the outer escort corridors. Sniper fire shattered observation glass. Panic spread instantly across the station. I grabbed Valeira and pulled her behind cover just before plasma rounds tore through the hallway. She looked genuinely surprised. You protected me. You're currently my wife. Apparently that's my job now. Another explosion shook the corridor violently. The assassins weren't amateurs. Coordinated attacks. Military precision. Someone powerful wanted the peace treaty dead immediately. Valeira drew her energy blade smoothly beside me. For one strange moment, human captain and alien commander stood back to back fighting together against the same enemy. And honestly, she was terrifying. 2 assassins rushed the corridor. She dropped both within seconds. Precise. Fast. Almost effortless. I fired past her shoulder, hitting a third attacker trying to flank us. She glanced toward me briefly. You shoot better than your diplomatic posture suggests. You stab people better than marriage counselors recommend. That earned the smallest possible smile. Barely visible. But real. Security forces eventually secured the station, but the message was clear. The peace treaty wouldn't survive without blood. And now both of us sat directly in the center of the galaxy's most dangerous political target. Over the next few weeks, we traveled constantly between human and Valkyrie territories trying to stabilize the fragile alliance. Publicly, we played our roles. The united couple ending the war. Privately, we barely trusted each other. At first, every conversation felt like negotiation. Careful. Measured. Cold. Then little things started changing. I learned Veilira hated ceremonial politics. She learned humans used humor to survive stress. She drank bitter black tea during sleepless nights studying military casualty reports. I repaired old fighter engines when I couldn't sleep. Slowly the distance between us became smaller. Not suddenly. Not magically. Just little moments. Shared silence during hyperspace travel. Quiet conversations after diplomatic disasters. Fighting side by side during assassination attempts that somehow kept happening every week. One night aboard the flagship observation deck, Veilira finally asked the question both of us avoided. Do humans truly hate us? I looked toward the stars outside. Some do. And you? That answer took longer. Because the truth was complicated now. I spent years believing your people were monsters. She stayed silent. Then softly. And now? I glanced toward her. The feared enemy commander standing quietly beneath starlight no longer looked like the monster from wartime broadcasts. She looked tired. Lonely. Human. Or close enough. Finally, I answered honestly. Now I think war lies to everyone. For several seconds she said nothing. Then quietly admitted. My people told similar stories about humans. Funny how enemies always sound identical eventually. Weeks later we uncovered the real problem behind the assassination attempts. Neither side truly wanted peace. Certain human admirals profited from endless war. Certain Velcari warlords built entire political careers on hatred. If the alliance survived, their power disappeared, which meant killing us became priority number one. And suddenly our marriage stopped being symbolic. Now it was dangerous. One evening after another failed attack, I entered the medical chamber to find Veilira staring silently at classified reports. What happened? She closed the display slowly. Nothing important. I sat beside her. That bad? Her golden eyes lowered slightly. Then quietly she said, The assassins are targeting you now. I figured that out during the explosions. No, she whispered. You do nowhere beyond the stars. New assassins were already preparing to destroy everything they built together. For more mind-blowing sci-fi stories like this, subscribe to Astro Cipher Hindi.